Hey guys, Marco here, welcome back to another lesson. Let me show you how to play this beautiful chord progression in E minor on the electric guitar. Now, one of the things that I like a lot about the electric guitar is the fact that we can embellish the chords in a really melodic and rhythmic way. Now, this way of embellish the chords was introduced by Hendrix in his song Little Wings, but it was also used by a lot of other guitar players and a lot of different music styles. Now guys, we're gonna have 4 different steps. Step number 1, learn the chord progression. Then we're gonna learn how to pick the strings. I'm gonna show you how we can actually single out some of the notes of the chords. Then step number 3, we're gonna embellish the chords. And the step number 4, we're going to learn the B section of the solo. Now I hope you enjoyed this lesson, guys. You can get the tab, check my Patreon page, and also subscribe to this channel if you want to keep up with all the upcoming lessons. Now we're gonna have a close-up. We're gonna get started. Enjoy this lesson. Now guys, the chord progression is very simple. We are playing an E minor chord, a D major, and a C major, G major, and a D over F sharp. Now the E minor chord is played in its basic bar chord shape, which is fret number 7, 9, 9, and 8, as well as the top E string fret number 7. It's just a basic E minor with a bar chord. The second chord is D major, which is played with the fret number 5 and then 7, 7, 7. Now, I usually use the little finger to bar the 3 strings, the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. You can either use the the ring finger, or you could use 3 fingers. But I'm gonna be using the little finger here. I don't play the low E string and I don't play the top E string. They are both muted. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for the C major. Same shape, just 3, 5, 5, 5. The G major chord is very simple. It's the country G, which is just, fret number 3, open, open, fret 3 and fret 3. And the D over F sharp is this one, with the low E string, fret number 2, D string open, G string fret number 2, and the B string fret number 3. I don't play the top E string, it's muted with the index finger. So very simple and basic chords. Now guys, one of the most challenging part about playing this chord progression is the strumming. When I play the chords, I always single out some of the notes of the chord. For example, when I play the E minor chord, I will strum the low E string. So I will strum the low E string, the bass note, and then I will do another downstroke, playing the whole thing. And then just an upstroke on the top 2 strings. Now I'm not adding the embellishment yet, just practice the chord first. Now for the D major, I will play the bass note, I will single out the root note, the A string with the downstroke, and then I play the chord with an upstroke. And then I'll do the same for the C. So and 4, and then just the G and the D. So for the G and the D, I'll just strum 1 time downstroke. And 4, and pretty cool and simple. But you want to practice this approach at the really beginning before we add the single notes. Now let me show you how to embellish the chords. Now that you learn the chords and the basic strumming, it's time to really add some notes around the chords. It's going to sound like this. So what we have, for the E minor chord, I'm just going to play the low E string, and then I'm gonna strum the chord just with the bottom of fret 7. And then quickly hammer the D string fret number 9 and the B string fret number 8. And then I'm gonna strum the top 2 strings with an upstroke. Now we can still add more notes on the E minor chord. Just play the G string fret 7 and the B string fret number 8 together. And then you wanna do a hammer on the G string fret number 9, followed by a pull off back to the fret 7. And then on the D string, fret number 9 and the fret number 8. So. When I pluck the other strings, the other notes, I will just do downstrokes. Now the next chord is the D major. So I'm gonna play the bass note, then I strum the chord. Then I'm gonna slide with, the first finger from fret 5 to fret 7. And I'm gonna hammer a fret number 9. And then play the D string and the third and the G string, 4th and 3rd string fret 7. Then I'm gonna play a very wide vibrato. Only play the 2 strings. Okay, you don't want to play the whole thing, just the D and the G string. Now keep the bar chord down and play the chord again. This time that we're gonna have a hammer on the D string, fret number 9, and a pull off to the fret number 7 again. And then on the A string, fret number 10 and fret number 9. So we're gonna do the same thing for the C major chord. With the only difference that, we play the same shape. But when we have the hammer on here, we will have 5 and 7, pull off on 5, and then on the A string, fret number 7 and 5. And then the G. Play it twice. You can, play the chord twice. And that's it. You can repeat the whole thing twice. Now there is a very simple riff that I play between the D and back to the E minor. So I will play the A string fret number 5, fret 7, the D string fret number 5, and back to the E, low E string open. Now this low E string is the beginning of the E minor chord. That's it. So you can repeat twice and use the riff between the 2 chords. Now guys, there is also a B section played with the same chords but in a different order. Very cool, and I really like the sound of this simple phrases around the chords. So we're gonna start with the C major this time. You wanna play it, 1 strum, and it's followed by the hammer on. So you wanna slide from 3 to 5 and play 5, 7 with a hammer on, and then fret 5 and 5 on the D and the G string. You do the same with the D major chord. But the D major will have 2 strums, okay? So one downstroke, one upstroke. And then we have, so the E minor chord, just, you know, play the chord with the bar chord on the fret number 7, and then hammer the fret 9 and 8 as we learned at the really beginning of the song. Then you go back to the bar chord, back to the D major, and back to the C. Now when you play this, we have a short phrase with 5, 7 on the A string and 5 on the D string, and you go back to 7 and 5. And then you have the same thing, C major, and then you have the C, the D major, we finish on the G major. So I'll play the G major chord one time, then a G sus4, which is the fret number 3 on the G, on the low E string, D, G string open, and the B string fret number 1, and then the G, and then the B string open. So now after this, you can go back to, you know, the same E minor chord. C major, a beautiful G over B, which is 2, 5, and 3. A minor 7, and the G major as the last chord. Awesome way to embellish the chords, guys. Take it step by step. Let me know if you like the lesson, and see you next time.